Hi boys and girls, I'm back again today to teach you how to measure something when you don't start at the end of the ruler right at zero. So let's start today by reviewing our vocabulary from yesterday. So we talked about the important words for the first few days of the measurement unit would be ruler, inch, and remember the inch is the unit of measure that we're using, and it's larger than a centimeter, which is the next unit of measure. And length is how long something is from one end point to the other end point. But we said yesterday when we have measurement, we usually start measuring an object. You line up the object at the end of the ruler or at zero. But today what I'm going to teach you to do is when the object is, let's say, in the middle of the ruler, how you should figure out how to measure. So we're going to look at these four different bugs to start off with. Our ladybug, the butterfly, the inchworm, and the grasshopper. So the first thing that you should do when you're trying to figure out the measurement of the object, I always like to take a pencil, crayon, whatever you have, and I like to make a dot on the spot on the ruler that we begin. So this ladybug starts around 3, so at the 3-inch point, and then I see that it's going to go all the way down here pretty much to 7. Now we can't say that the ladybug is 7 inches long because that would mean that we started at 0. So we have to figure out if the ladybug goes from 3 to 7, how many inches it is. So we've marked it off. That's the first thing. So then what I'm going to teach you is a few different strategies that you can use. One of the first ones is you can just start at your first dot or line if you wanted to do a line and count on. So in that case, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it could be 4 inches. And I just counted on. So the measurement is 4 inches. Let's just put that back up over here. Okay. So that was one way that you could do it. Another way that you could do it would be to start at the end number and count back. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could also count on the number line by making some jumps. This time I'm going to do them underneath because I don't want to go over the ladybug, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. But any way you decide to do it, it's 4 inches. Now let's look at our butterfly. The antennas start right around the 4-inch mark. So this time I'm going to draw a line, and I'll do it down here. And then I'm going to look and see where it ends, and it ends way down here at the 10. So the same strategy is true, that you're going to either count on, count back, make the jumps on the ruler, or you could even do a subtraction sentence. So I'm going to show you a subtraction sentence here. So if the last number was 10, I would have that as the first number in my subtraction sentence, minus the ending number, or the other number rather, is 4. And obviously 10 minus 4 is 6. So let's see, that was one way we made a subtraction sentence. But now let's look if we counted on the same numbers, if we would also get 6. So I'm going to do the loops this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 inches. So those are a few different ways that you can count. Either counting up, going back, making a subtraction sentence. Now let's look at 2 more examples. I have a worm and a grasshopper. Let's start with the worm. I'm going to start where he begins on the number 4 again. This time I'm going to make a dot. And I'm going to look where he ends, the number 11. Or actually, almost the 12 because of I forgot his antennas. So let's say 12. So again, we can use our strategies. We can count up, we can count back, we can do a subtraction sentence. So let's count on. this time I'm not going to do the loops, I'm just going to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or the inchworm is 8 inches. But let's just double check that, and I'll count backwards doing the same thing, but starting at the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 inches either way. So now the grasshopper. Now remember, you can't start at 0 if the object doesn't begin at 0. So he starts right around the number 1, and he ends right around the number 11. So this time I made lines instead of dots. I'm going to do my loops and count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The grasshopper is 10 inches long. So that is measuring with different endpoints. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more using the ladybugs. I don't know if you can see, but my shirt even says 2nd grade rules. I'm even wearing a ruler today on my shirt. So let's look at these ladybugs first. So these look just like the ones on the wall. Okay, I'm going to start with a 6. And I'm going to see that he ends around 10. Okay, and I'm going to do my subtraction sentence. So I'm going to start with 10 minus 6 equals 4. The ladybug is 4 inches. Okay, so now the same thing again with the second ladybug on this page. This time I'm going to make lines. So I'm going to make a line at the 8 and a line at the 12. I can probably estimate that it's going to be 4 inches again because he was 4 inches up here. Oops. Okay, but let's try it anyway. This time I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he is 4 inches. Four inches again. So now I'm going to show you this measurements one more time. I'm going to write a measurement and I'm going to see if we think it's right or wrong. So I'm looking at these two ladybugs. And I'm going to say that the first one is 9 inches long. 9 inches. Well, I hope that you are all figuring out that it is not 9 inches. You might think that it's 9 inches because it ended on the 9, but of course it didn't start with the 0. So this could not be 9 inches because it didn't start down here. Instead, it started here. So we're going to count from 5 to the end, which is 9 in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, he is 4 inches. Okay, so let's review the rules on measuring with different endpoints. Okay, so here are the first step that you should remember, and I'm going to put them over here. Hopefully we can see them. Okay, let me bring that in a little bit. It's a little hard to see. Okay, the first step to remember is start by making dots or lines at the beginning and the end of the object. And I demonstrated that several times. Step number 2, then use your strategies that we talked about to find the measurement. And those strategies are, you can count on from the first number to the last number. You can make a subtraction sentence. Hold on. The last one is, zooming in there, oops, you can show the jumps on the ruler and count on. I also demonstrated that several times. When finished, make sure you write your measurement in inches. And again, those are the examples from today on how you can measure with different endpoints. So again, boys and girls, try your best on today's lesson, and I'll see you again next time.